We are now looking at the Yonela Bonga question. It says this question is completely unrelated to the Pillay family. Right, so completely separate. Yonela Bonga is 55 years old, younger than 65. She runs a small B&B, which is a bed and breakfast, so you can go and stay there and in the morning they'll feed you. As a sole proprietor, the B&B trades under the name of Bonga's B&B. Okay, now, make sure that you read carefully what it says there. Yonela is treating as a sole proprietor. That means that she's trading in her own name. She might call a business Bonga's B&B, but it's not a company, it's not a closed corporation, it's not a trust. She's the person who gets all of the income and pays all of the expenses. Yonela runs the B&B from a building of 20 rooms. 18 rooms are used for short-term accommodation to guests, and 2 rooms on the top floor are rented out as homes on a long-term basis by tenants who pay a monthly rental. So there's 2 things here. There's commercial accommodation, which is the 18 rooms, because that's like a hotel. And then there's the long-term, which is residential accommodation. And residential accommodation is exempt for VAT. She is a registered category B VAT vendor. It means she needs to do VAT returns every 2 months, ending February, April, June, etc. Go and look at section 27 of the VAT Act. If this is news to you, it can be, and most of the time will be very important in the question to make sure that you understand what the VAT period is. Okay, SARS has indicated that it accepts the following ratios for purposes of apportionment. B&B guests 80%, long-term tenants 20%. So they're saying the commercial accommodation is 80%. So this and 20% is exempt. So 80% is taxable. So this makes her what we call an 80% VAT vendor. So it means that if she incurs VAT, which affects the entire business, she can only claim 80% of it because 20% of the suppliers are exempt. You have to read carefully now. When she incurs any expenses, is it just for the commercial? Because then it's 100% that you can claim. Is it just for residential? Because then you can't claim anything. Or is it for both? Which then you can only claim 80%. Okay, so the following information pertains to a 2023 year of assessment. A. Income received. Yonela invoiced B&B guests who stayed less than 28 days, a total of 850,000 including VAT, or excluding VAT, sorry, during the year. So that means times 15% is output VAT. One guest stayed for 30 days, so that's more than 28 days, and was invoiced an amount of 25,500 excluding VAT. This amount is not included in the 850 above. Now if you stay for more than 28 days, section 1010 of the VAT Act will kick in, and if you can remember what that means, it tells you that you need to calculate the output VAT then as 25,500 times 60% basically. So only 60% of it is taxable times the 15%. And then the long-term tenants each paid a rent of 54,000 for the year. Okay, that is exempt. Then we have interest income. She earned local interest of 28,000 from the B&B's business bank account. No VAT on that, but it is income tax. Salaries. The B&B's payroll system shows that it paid the following gross salaries during the year of assessment. Paid 170,000 to Sarah Blair, who works as the B&B's administrative assistant and bookkeeper. Sarah is involved in all aspects of the business. So she works for the taxable and the exempt business. And then they paid 240 to Yonela Bonga. Now, first of all, for VAT, we know that this is remuneration, and remuneration is not the furtherance of an enterprise, so we don't consider VAT for it. There's no VAT. What about income tax? Now, the 170,000 is a tax deduction for Yonela because it's incurred in the production of income. What about the 240,000 that she paid to herself? Think about it. It's her business. She's a top trader. She paid it to herself. The money that went out came in for her. Basically, it doesn't go anywhere. You can't pay yourself a salary. So that 240,000 is not taxed. Now, that doesn't mean, just make sure that you understand what I'm saying here. If we have income, let's say it's 1 million, and you have other expenses, let's say it's 300,000, and then we have salaries for person A and then for the owner. salary of 100,000 to person A goes out, and then the owner decides to pay themselves. This is not a company, this is now a sole trader, themselves 200,000. That means that the income that's left in the business is 400,000. But that 200,000 over there is an amount that you pay to yourself. So how much income did you make? 600,000. So that's what we're saying. This amount is not allowed as a tax deduction, because then it just calculates the 600,000, because this makes no sense as a sole trader. Okay, important. So she will just still be included, that amount will get taxed. There's then a motor vehicle. On the 1st of September 2022, this is in the 2023 tax year, she purchased and started using a passenger vehicle. It was a second-hand vehicle which she had purchased from a dealership, which is a registered VAT vendor, for 180,000 including VAT. Right, doesn't matter, it's second-hand, input tax is denied. This says Yonela uses the vehicle to transport B&B guests to and from the local airport. The charge for this is included in the fee for staying at the B&B. So she uses it for business purposes. She maintained a logbook that showed 80% of the time it was for personal reasons. Now, is this a company car? Now again, you might feel like it is because the B&B purchased it, but Yonela's using it. But remember, she is the B&B. For anything to have a fringe benefit, there needs to be an employer plus employee relationship. You can't have that relationship with yourself. Right, so no fringe benefits if you are self-employed. She incurred the following costs on the vehicle. Insurance, you can claim VAT. Petrol, you can claim VAT, but it's 0% because it's zero rated. Maintenance, you can claim VAT. Interest costs is financial services, but you can't claim that. For income tax purposes, you can only claim 80% of the amount. And they tell you also here, there's a useful life of 5 years, because it's for wear and tear. Of course you can claim wear and tear. I'm just reminding you guys, when you're looking at the general deduction formula, the general deduction formula is not just section 11A, it's section 11A and also section 23G. Section 11A is what is called the positive test. Section 23G is what we call the negative test. The positive test means if you meet the requirements, you can claim a deduction, which means you're carrying on a trade, the expenditure actually incurred in the production of income, it's not capital in nature during the year of assessment. The negative test says you cannot claim something if not used for trade or to the extent of trade. So that means that 80%, which is for personal reasons, you can't claim anything on it. So you can only claim the 20%. Did I say 80% earlier? You can only claim 20%. Then there's food. The B&B incurred 29,000 to purchase breakfast food items. Now that's entertainment. Now usually entertainment, in terms of section 17.2a, says input tax is denied on that. But then they tell you the B&B's fee covers all the direct and indirect costs of food. That is one of the requirements that tells you, or one of the exceptions that tells you, then you can claim the input VAT. Okay, so that's important. Then drawings. Yonela withdrew 60,000 from the business bank account for private expenses. So she took money out of the business. The administrative assistant processed this as in the accounting system as a dividend. So this person's running an accounting system. The accounting system is maybe not sophisticated enough to deal with a sole trader, or maybe the accountant didn't know, the bookkeeper. So they went debit, dividend, credit, bank. Now, let's talk about it. First, it can't be a dividend. Dividends are only by companies. It only happens if someone has a share. If you receive something equals a share. She doesn't have a share in herself. She's a sole trader. So that's wrong. Okay, so what I'm trying to say to you, there's no dividends tax or something to worry about there, because it's not a dividend. This should have been drawings. Drawings is a debit to your equity. It reduces your own equity if you think about it as a business. It's not a dividend. And again, there's no tax deduction for it because it's not incurred in the production of income. So it'll be stay in the taxable income. So she'll have income, less expenses, and then she has drawings there, but it won't be allowed as a deduction. So let's say income was 100, expenses were 20, and drawings were 30. She would not claim that as a deduction, so say 80. That 80 would then be, 30 would have been drawings, and 50 would be other profits. She'll still be taxed on the full 80. So I'm just trying to explain that. Okay, that's it. So next video, we'll start coming to the required.